Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to layer salicylic acid and vitamin C serum. Now they can be used together in the same routine, or you can use one in the morning and the other one in the evening. However, as for this video I'm going to keep my focus on using them together. And so this is a great combination if you have combination to oily skin, you are trying to regulate or let's say reduce your oiliness, you may want to unclog your pores, you want to have like a gentle exfoliation part in your routine as well, which helps to improve textured skin and uneven skin tone and reduces the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So if those are your concerns, looking into those products can really help to improve your skin concerns. Keep in mind those are treatments, not cures. So when looking into this combination, you can use both products theoretically daily in the morning as well as evening. So you can use it once or twice per day daily. But if you're being new to salicylic acid, as it is an exfoliant, it's mainly important with the exfoliant, but you could do the same thing with vitamin C, then it is important to first of all do a patch test. So see how your skin is going to respond to it. If any sensitivity occurs, do the patch test on your upper forearm before applying it all over your face and neck. If you want to know how you can do a patch test, I have a video for you in the top right corner. Then the next point, which is still important to emphasize, is a frequency guide. Since not everyone tolerates the same amount of exfoliation. So therefore I recommend starting off slowly to figure out what your skin needs so that you will get the benefits out of it and not going to irritate your skin in any way. So when looking into the exfoliant, start off by using it once per day, 2 to 3 times per week. Do this frequency for about 2 to 3 weeks to see how your skin is going to respond to it. If that already works well for you, you can keep on going with that frequency. However, if you feel like, well, you want to increase it, well, then the next step would be using it once per day, every other day. Again, do this for a couple of weeks. Then you may want to move up to a higher frequency, using it once per day daily. And then lastly, you could go ahead and use it twice per day daily, if that's fine for your skin. So this is very individual. Therefore, I recommend taking your time to figuring out the frequency before just jumping right into the daily use of it. And so then once you figured out the frequency, you can go ahead and keep on going with that specific guide. Now I want to get into not really a conflict part, but I do want to emphasize it depending on the vitamin C product that you may have at home, since your salicylic acid and vitamin C can be used together. However, specifically when looking into ascorbic acid, which is the pure form of vitamin C products, the higher the percentage and depending also on the pH, the lower the pH, it can lead to sensitivity. Therefore, in that specific case, I recommend not using your salicylic acid product and your high strength ascorbic acid product in the same routine. This would be more than 15% of ascorbic acid, because this often and quite commonly can lead to irritation when doing this combination. So therefore keep them separate, use one in the morning, the other one in the evening. However, if you have a vitamin C derivative such as an Ascorbyl glucoside serum, or maybe tetrazo palmitate or magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, those are just examples of vitamin C derivatives. Those usually do not cause any issues. There you can use it with your exfoliant or without your exfoliant, and there isn't anything that you need to be aware of. And then on the other hand, you have lower percentages of ascorbic acid serums, and they are usually well tolerated. However, of course, if you know that you have a bit more of a sensitive skin type, well, then you may want to look into a vitamin C derivative instead of an ascorbic acid serum. And so with my PowerPoint slides that I'm about to share with you, which is a morning and evening example, I went ahead and created a mix of vitamin C derivatives and ascorbic acid products so that you can see a few examples and have an idea of which one would be more suitable depending on if you have sensitive skin or not, or if you're used to vitamin C or you're being completely new to it. And so based on that, you get the idea. So the order of application in that case won't change. So you're starting off, let's go with the morning skincare routine. You're starting off with the first step, which is your cleansing step. Make sure that you're choosing a gentle cleanser that's working well for your skin type. So in that specific case, we're looking into combination to oily skin type cleansers. Wash your face, rinse it off, pat the skin dry. Then you can move on to the next step, which would be your exfoliant, your salicylic acid exfoliant. Apply it to the skin, leave it on the skin, there's no need to wash it off. Then after that, you're moving on to your vitamin C product. Apply it to the skin, leave it on the skin, and then during daytime, it is important to follow with sun protection. Not only because you're working with an exfoliant, but because you may have fine lines and wrinkles and even like an uneven like skin tone as well. Therefore, sun protection during daytime is important. So please don't forget this. And then apply it to the skin, leave it on the skin. Now in between, you could go ahead and work with a moisturizer as well if you should feel the need. However, if you have combination to oily skin, you usually would go with either a moisturizer that already contains SPF that's suitable for an oilier skin type, or just move on to your regular sunscreen. Now, for an evening skincare routine, it can look pretty much the same, but the only step that may change is going to be, first of all, your cleansing step. So if your regular cleanser isn't able to properly remove any excess oil, dirt, sweat, sunscreen and makeup from the skin, I recommend doing a double cleanse. This can be micellar water, then your regular cleanser, or an oil or balm cleanser, and then move on to your regular cleanser. And then wash your face, make sure that everything comes properly off the skin before continuing with the rest of your exfoliant as well as vitamin C. And then in the evening, you could stop after you have applied your vitamin C. There's no need to work with a moisturizer. However, if you should feel the need, then you can go ahead and add one to your routine, and then this would be the last step. In the evening, there's no sunscreen needed. And so this basically would be an example of a morning as well as evening skincare routine when working with both products, what you have to keep in mind and what can change depending on when you're using the products. But of course, you could go ahead and use, for example, your vitamin C in the morning, your exfoliant in the evening. That's just fine as well. Now, I want to keep my focus on the application. I have my setup right here. I'm going to go over the steps. I'm going to go with an evening skincare routine so that you can see it as well. Now, you can start off with the first step, which would be, again, washing your face with a cleanser. This can be done above the sink, or take your cleanser within the shower. Wash your face with your cleanser in the shower, rinse everything properly off. Once you're out of the shower, you're going to continue with the rest of your skincare routine. So both ways are fine. Just make sure that you properly can remove the cleanser. So as an example, I have CeraVe's foaming cleanser right here, which is great for normal to oily skin. This is just purely an example. If you have a different one, please exchange it if it's working well for you, and read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser, since the directions may change. Here it is advised to apply the cleanser on wet skin. So I'm going to get started with wetting my face and neck and hands with lukewarm water to warm water so it feels comfortable on the skin. Then I'm using about a coin size amount of the cleanser, which is more or less about 1 to 2 pumps. I'm going to massage it over my face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then I'm going to rinse it off. In between, which I can highly recommend, you can use a soft and fresh washcloth in between. Those are usually like the makeup remover cloths, which you can wet, and they can really amazingly help you to remove any leftovers of your sunscreen, makeup, or even your cleanser, to make sure that everything comes properly off before you're going to continue with the rest of your skincare routine. So let's go ahead and do this. So now go ahead and take a fresh towel and pat the skin dry. So once you're done with your cleansing step, you can immediately move on to the next step. So again, the next step is going to be your salicylic acid exfoliant, also known as a BHA. Now I have two examples right here, Paula's Choice and the Ordinary. Now of course you need to adjust the amount depending on the product that you may have at home. I have a general guide in my example skincare routines, but with those two examples, with Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant, you can, for example, apply it on a cotton pad or with your hands. So when using it on a cotton pad, then use more or less about like a nicely filled cotton pad. It shouldn't be dripping wet. It's like probably more or less about a coin size amount, just as a general guide, but you should be able to blend the product evenly all over your face and neck, but it shouldn't be dripping wet, because then you can end up with too much product, which is going to likely irritate the skin because you're just going to apply too much to the skin. So more or less about that much. Of course, if you feel like you cannot really properly reach every area, it isn't wet enough to like dispense the product or like distribute the product over your face and neck, well then of course go ahead and add a bit more, but please do not overdo it. If you're going to apply it with your hands, I recommend as a general guide, go with 5 to 8 drops for your face and neck. Start with 5. If you should feel the need, you can add a few drops more. If you should have a salicylic acid serum in a little bottle, well, suggest ordinary salicylic acid solution. That one has a thicker, stickier texture. Use between 2 to 3 drops for your face and neck. Now when doing the application, please make sure to not apply it on top of your eyelids. Please do not get it into your eyes, and please do not get it too close to the actual lower lash line. And make sure to not get it into your mouth. If it gets into your eyes or in your mouth, please make sure to rinse it immediately with water. And then apply it evenly over your face as well as neck. So once you're done with the application of your exfoliant, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And now you can give it about 30 seconds to a minute in between so that the product has time to absorb into the skin before moving on to the next step. Now the next step is going to be your vitamin C product. Again, this can be a vitamin C derivative or ascorbic acid serum. Just make sure that it works well for you, that it does not irritate your skin in any way, and that it feels comfortable. I have two examples right here from the Ordinary, the Ascorbic Glucoside solution, which is a vitamin C derivative, or Geek and Gorgeous Sea Glow, which is a 15% of ascorbic acid serum. So I have two examples right here, and I'm going to go with the Ordinary Ascorbic Glucoside. And so if you have a vitamin C serum that comes with a dropper, well, depending on the texture, because vitamin C products can sometimes be quite liquidish, then go with 4 to 6 drops, or about 2 to 3 drops if the texture is much thicker. Or if you have a vitamin C that comes in a pump, use between 1 to 2 pumps. Start off with 1 pump. If that shouldn't be enough, you can always add another pump to it. But make sure again that you're using enough for your entire face and neck. But at the same time, make sure that you're not going to overdo it, because again, the more product you're going to use, the more likely it can cause sensitivity because your skin is overwhelmed. So please make sure to keep the amount of product in mind. And then evenly apply it all over your face and neck. Again, make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. Please do not use it on top of your eyelids or too close to the lower lash line. So, and once you're done with the application of your vitamin C product, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, if this is going to be your morning skincare routine, the next step would be following with your sunscreen. So then make sure to apply your sunscreen properly all over your face and neck 10 to 15 minutes before sun exposure. Once you're done with the application, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. As for an evening skincare routine, you can stop right here. If you do not feel the need of working with a moisturizer because you have already an oilier skin type, that's completely fine. Just skip it. Then the vitamin C product is going to be the last step. However, if you do say, well, I want to work with a moisturizer, make sure that it's working well for your skin type and make sure that you're going to apply it where it's needed. So if you have, for example, a combination skin and you say, well, the lower part of my face is a bit drier, well, then just use a moisturizer on the drier parts. If you have in general not as an oily skin, but maybe due to salicylic acid it makes your skin a bit too dry, which can happen because it helps to regulate oiliness, well then of course you can go ahead and apply it all over your face and neck. I just wouldn't use your moisturizer if you have really oily skin and if you have certain parts that are getting really oily, because then it can make it like more greasy and this can feel uncomfortable on the skin. So please make sure to balance it depending on the moisturizer that you're using and the part of your face. So as an example, I'm going to use the Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors. If you have a different one, that's completely fine. Replace it as with any other product that I just demonstrated. This is purely about the application. So when working with the moisturizer, use about a bean size amount for your face and neck. If you just want to use it on certain parts, well then use a bit less than that. Otherwise you may end up with too much product. So about that much, more or less, for the entire face and neck. And then evenly blend it all over where it's needed. So, and once you're done with the application of your moisturizer, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And there you have it, an example of an evening skincare routine. Now, I do want to remind you that if you earlier found the PowerPoint slides helpful, like the conflicts list as well as the morning and evening skincare routine, you want to go over it in your own time, you will find all the PowerPoint slides plus like additional tips, skincare tips about how you can work with your products in the description box down below. Just click on the link, it will bring you to a website where you can like see the PowerPoint slides where I have uploaded it, and you can even download them if you find them helpful. And so with that being said, I do hope that you enjoyed this video, that you find it helpful. If you did so, please don't forget to give the thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to learn more about skincare and you want to see certain videos, I'm going to link some of them at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching and learn more about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye.